Good morning, YouTube. Jason here, 606 Garage. Saturday morning. Now, this video is going to cover Saturday and Sunday, so we're just getting started right now. Got my Holley rebuild kit in. I've got a Avenger 670 Holley dual line I'm going to put on this car. We'll see how that works out. Getting ready to get my wheels and tires ready to go here for, I got to put some valve cores in them and air them up, throw them back to the truck. We're getting ready to go after an 85, 86 coupe. Now, this is a parts car. Somebody's cut the back half of the car off. I think I mentioned that in an earlier video. You're gonna go see that, but I gotta get my stuff together because I'm in a hurry because it's out right on the West Virginia line. And that's about 2-hour drive for me. Pulling a car, it's about 2 hours and 20 minutes. So that being said, I got to get this going, and like I said, we got plenty of parts. As soon as I get back, I'm going to get unloaded, and I'm going to get flying on this car. My brake calipers come in. They've been in. Actually, I had them whenever I did the short. But see how they're like a zinc plated? They're like zinc, or actually Rick mentioned that they're probably cadmium plated, and I'm actually kind of on board with that too. But anyway, now I don't have to paint those. Came with new bolts, and I'm telling you, those end up being $35 a piece. Can't beat that. I don't even have to paint them. So I can go ahead and button up this, get the wheels and stuff on it, tighten everything up. And then what we're gonna do, I got the lineup pins for the timing cover. We're gonna finish addressing this engine. Then I'm gonna have it, we're gonna start getting it ready for setting it down in. So that just means pilot bearing, flywheel, clutch, bell housing. I might as well slide the shifting fork, or the clutch throw out bearing fork in it. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So you'll probably get a few clips of me driving down the road. Probably get a few clips of the car before we pick it up. And then as we get it loaded, I believe it's got wheels on the back of it, not the front, but I'm taking 4 wheels with 4 brand new tires because you all know I use a dolly. If I can't bring home the dolly, I don't wander around here. All right, guys, let's get rolling. All right, guys, got loaded up, ready to go. Let's do a quick check real quick. You should do this every time you go get something. Now, usually you don't need 4 spare tires, but always have a trailer tire. Now this has my chains, clavises, and keep an air tank, jack, things to put under my jack and stand. I always have at least one stand. Come along, extra chain. Make sure your pin's in. Make sure your lights work. So let's see if they're working. They're working. Just kind of double check everything. That's in there. Safety pins in there. Safety chains are hooked up. All right, let's start this long journey. A lot of construction hitting on the Mountain Parkway these days, but it makes it a better ride. All right, guys, we got that car unloaded, put where we're going to put it for now. Of course, I got to get the back wheels off of it, get it covered up, and actually find a better place to put it. I just was in a hurry. All right, wheel bearings come in, seals come in. It's time to start getting this front end wrapped up. All right, so this is my new one I received. And this is the other one I received. It's just a core. It's just a core. Never even been rebuilt. They sent me an old one. Nice. Hey guys, what's up? Sunday evening here. Still plugging along. I'm actually messing with the accessories on the front of this engine. Whew. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is more than more than what I bargained for. Get what you pay for, right? So I just bought one of them Chinese bracket sets. The alternator one went on pretty smooth. This power steering one is not so much. And I'm going to tell you, they don't give you nowhere near enough hardware to put these on. You don't have no power steering bolts. Luckily, I had some metric Allen bolts here that worked. Other than that, I was short a 7/16 bolt for the alternator and the spacer. Luckily, I had another alternator bracket kit here, so I just robbed the piece out of it. Let me show you what I got going on here. Now, for the most part, this is going to look pretty decent. So it comes with this piece here. It's got 3/8 ends on it. Now, I'm assuming it wants you to use the old bolt down there that's got the threaded, you know, 5/16 going in. It's got the threaded 3/8 on it, and it comes with a small spacer. But I wanted my bar to be straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill and thread that timing cover to accept a 3/8 bolt. And I'm running a grade 8 3/8 bolt through it, and I made my own spacer here. So there's that. Other than that, I got to put some Loctite on these right here. I'm going to go ahead and secure that to that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my pulley on. That way I can get a true line up on it. The rest of it looks really good. So, and then, now I don't have a gasket behind my water pump yet. I'm just test fitting everything. And then I'm going to take it back off, put my gasket on. Probably bolt everything back on except the alternator. Power steering pump can stay on there. That's fine. It ain't going to be too much in the way. But this is a one-wire alternator. I think it's a 110 amp alternator. But we're doing a one-wire conversion on it. And I'm going to tell you something. You go to one wire, good luck stopping at a parts house and getting one. So my advice would be, depending on the road trip you plan on going on, buy another alternator and take it with you. That's the only downfall to run the one wire. Other than that, it's clean. So that's what I'm working on right now. I got the brake caliper on that side. Now I thought they give me this one instead, but that was the one that Rick gave me, and I got confused because the exact same brand. I found the new one, so I'm gonna get it on. I've got to run to the parts house and get some brake line nuts to fit those brake hoses that come on those. These here. These don't fit the standard brake lines. So I'm gonna go get some brake line nuts. I'm gonna get some brake line, and I'm gonna run the brake lines to that and tie up those, finish all that up. But other than that, I'm trying to get this thing right here to where it's very close. Motor mounts are bolted on tight. Timing cover's on tight. Harmonic balancer's on tight. Now I don't have the oil pan gasket on. When I flip it over to put it on, I just gotta fix the oil pump rod, get it in place, and then like I said, go ahead and put the oil pan gasket on and flip it back over. Set the distributor in there, because right now I believe she's on number 1. I'm gonna go ahead and get the distributor set in there. When I remove I will set this in there, you know, I can set it in with all the accessories on it. And that's what I plan to do. So, minus the alternator. But it's gonna have the headers on and everything when I set it down in there. It's gonna have the bell housing as well. Just trying to get it ready. Alright, I'm at a stopping point with my belt system. I had to make my own spacers there. So what I'm gonna do, I still haven't threaded this like I want to, drilled and, you know, re-tapped it. But other than that, I got one more spacer to make down here. Once I get this done, I get my belts and everything, or my belt. This is what size my belt is. This turned out to be a 60.5 inch belt. But yeah, pretty happy with it. I like the way it turned out. It was just more work than what it should have been. But now after I get these spacers and everything figured out, I'm gonna go ahead and get my extra bolts ordered, like the bolts for this right here. It did not include the metric bolts for this. And these bolts are all the wrong size. So I'm just making some modifications because I actually kind of like the setup. I think it looks clean. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this car right here. So I'll probably order another set of these. And I like the black. I like the black. It, you know, looks good to me. So get this thing down to a science and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, so I bought my brake line stuff. I got plenty of brake lines. I got a coupling and stuff, and I'll probably just replace this one up to right about there, cut and flare that, put a coupling in right there, and then I'm gonna replace this whole line right here. Do that, and then I should be good to go ahead and finish up everything up here and put my power steering lines on, which I got here just waiting. And actually, after I get those two done, though, it's ready for a motor. All right, guys, that's a wrap for today. I could work a little bit longer, but I'm kind of tired. I'm happy with my progress today. I got a new brake line running. The driver's side is done. Brakes hooked up, blah, blah, blah. I started on the passenger side. I actually cut the line above the firewall. Took that, the left side off, you know, facing the car. I took the passenger side of that line off, going to discard it. The line is good up above the firewall, going back to the proportion valve block. And I took that whole line off, took it over there, double flared it, put it back on here, and I've got my inverted flare coupling on here, waiting for the rest of the line. I went to the parts house, they only had one of the fittings that would fit those brake lines. So that was why I was only able to get down to one. If I had that fitting, I'd keep going. But that's okay. I could use a brake. We're in a good direction on the engine. Got the belt and stuff on it. But I went ahead and mic'd the old spacers, and I can actually buy that tubing in 18-inch lengths and make my own bushings. So that's what I'm going to do. I mic'd the ones that I had, and I can buy them in 18-inch pieces. So I'm going to buy that. I'm going to buy some for some 3/8. I'm going to go ahead and get prepared to do this again. That's my plan. I just got to finish that up, do a few things, and then I'm going to put it all back together, and it'll be done. I'll just drop that thing right in the car with the engine belt on it and everything. I mean, it's just beats leaning over the hood and the front end or whatever, trying to assemble all this stuff. So everything worked out fairly decent, but it's just aftermarket stuff, you know. Like I said, this aftermarket stuff is just wearing me out. But it's okay. We're almost there. I got the power steering lines tied in on the power steering rack. Everything is tight. Bolts in the steering shaft. I got to put the screw in the bracket for the clutch cable, and I've got to find that loop that attaches the power steering line to the frame rail. I'm sure it's out there on that old rack. But yeah, I can't say, I'm telling you, I couldn't be happier with the way it's starting to. I knew it was all going to start falling together, and that's what's happening. As soon as I get this other brake line hooked up, oh man, we're going to start flying in. I get the intake cleaned up, painted. I think I've got some silver. I think I'm going to paint it silver. I've got that engine paint silver somewhere. So that will be what I do with it. Other than that, this is the most I've got done on a weekend for a while. We're very close to getting this engine together to sit down in there. And man, I just can't wait to hear it fire up. I just hope it ain't rattling and knocking, you know, but that's a chance I'm taking on it. Everything seemed to be pretty tight. I turned it over several times. Everything felt really good. There was no metal in the pan. There was no metal in this engine. So I'm pretty happy about that. I gotta get some new plugs and new gaskets for this oil pan. Actually, I think I have some here. But yeah. Man, if I had 2 or 3 more days like I did today with my stuff in hand, oh yeah. Yeah, we would have this in this car. I just need to get rid of that alternator, do my 1-wire thing, get rid of all that charging stuff, you know. And I think I actually have my caster camber plates on wrong. So I need to and look into that. I think I've got them on the wrong sides. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. Pretty stoked. Guys, have a great weekend, and thanks for hanging out with me. 606 Garage, always nice to have you. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends.